This is STAAR Guided Practice numbers 25 through 29. Number 25 says the chart below shows the weights of the 5 offensive linemen on the Tigers football team. Which of the following best describes the mean absolute deviation of this data? We haven't covered this lesson yet, but it's coming up pretty soon. It's not hard to do, it's just a little time consuming. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to find the average of all 5 numbers, or what we call the mean. Okay, go ahead and write it down and then put it in your calculator. 188 plus 200 plus 205 plus 197 plus 70, and divide that by 5. Okay, that should give you 192. The next step you're going to do is get the average, which is the 192, and you're going to subtract that from each of the weights of the linemen. So you're going to start by subtracting 192 minus 188, then 200 minus 192, and so on. And make sure you're writing all this down so when you have to do a problem by yourself, you'll remember what the steps are. Okay, go ahead and subtract all of these, get the answers. Okay, and then the last step to do is to find the average of all the answers. So you're going to add 4, 8, 13, 15, 27 together and divide it by 5. Once you get your answer, that's what they call the mean absolute deviation. Okay, and as you can see, none of those say 13.4, so your answer would be D, not here. Number 26, which equation describes a line with a y-intercept of 6? Remember your y-intercept, Number 27 says, in the figure below, triangle ABC is similar to triangle DBE. Remember, when two figures are similar, that means that their angles have to be congruent. And then the sides have to be proportional. Okay, knowing those two things, you should be able to solve for C and E. Okay, if I'm going to solve for E first, I can use the 12 and the 15 and the 10 and the E. Remember, if you're going to write it like this, make sure you write it the same. So if your 12 is going to be your top number for your proportion, then the E has to be your top number for the other fraction. And then down here, this is going to be the bottom number. Then your 10 has to be the bottom number. Okay, and then just cross multiply, divide. 120 divided by 15, and that should give you 8. Okay, now you're going to solve for C. So if you want to write it as a proportion again, you could write C over 15. Remember, this is your top number, this is your bottom number. That would mean this would have to be your top number, this would have to be your bottom number. And then just cross multiply and divide. 15 times 8 gives you 120. 120 divided by 10 gives you 12. Number 28 says the triangle below is to be dilated with a scale factor 2 with the origin as the center of the dilation. Which statement will not be true about the image? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and draw the dilation, which means I need the new coordinates, and I'm going to get that by multiplying all the numbers by 2. Okay, so negative 3 times 2 is negative 6, 5 times 2 is 10. Then you have negative 1 times 2 and 1 times 2. Okay, now the question is asking which statement will not be true about the image. A says the image will have the same orientation as the original triangle. That is true. When dilation, the orientation does not change. B, the image is constant. The image is congruent to the original triangle. As you can see, it is not congruent. It obviously got bigger. So B would be your answer. C says the image is the same shape. That's true. And D said the image is contained entirely in quadrant 2. As you can see, even though it got bigger, it still stayed in quadrant 2. So D is also true. Last one, number 29, says Janice has a choice of paying off her credit card balance. She can make payments of $186 per month for 36 months to the credit card company. Or it should say she can borrow the card balance from the bank and make payments of $159 per month to the bank for 36 months. Question is, how much money will she save if she borrows the money from the bank and pays off her credit card? Okay, so to figure this out, you want to find out how much she's going to end up paying when she pays just to the credit card company. To do that, you would multiply the 186 times 36 because that's how many months she's paying. Okay, so after 36 months, you're going to end up paying the credit card company $6,696. If you go with paying the bank instead, you're going to pay $5,724. The question is, how much will you save by going with the bank instead of the credit card company? So obviously you just subtract those two numbers. And it shows that you should save $927, which is F as in Frank. Okay, go ahead and flip it over. Do the independent practice on your own.